Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Welcome back to Faith Ministries. My name is Tiamar, and I'm here to bring you another video, another word. Now, by the title of the video, you can already read where I wrote, "Do not entertain your spouse while they are in that counterfeit relationship." Okay. Now, let your spouse have what they chose. I know it sounds crazy. You're like, why would I want to let them have that counterfeit? Listen, let them have what they chose. God is trying to bring your spouse to an end of themselves. You, as the God ordained spouse, needs to get out of the way and let God get to your spouse. Let God work on your spouse, okay? Let God give your spouse the revelation that he's with the wrong person. You just need to get out the way and pray. Don't entertain your spouse while they are in that counterfeit relationship. What I've noticed about my spouse is that he was trying to, use me as a distraction while he remains in that misery, or he put himself in. And I did not allow this. The moment you notice that your spouse is still in that counterfeit relationship, you need to let him go and let him sit in his mess. The reason for this is that you do not want to run the risk of your spouse putting you in the same category as they put that counterfeit in. Okay, a long time ago, I remember it came to my knowledge that this counterfeit entertained my spouse while he was with someone. He was in another relationship, and she was with my spouse, and then she broke up with him, and then he got with someone else. That's what it came to my knowledge at the time. And she still pursued him while he was in that relationship with someone else, and then he eventually broke up with that other woman, and they got back together. So you can see how messed up their relationship is. Now, me myself, I have observed my spouse with this counterfeit, and I can tell you that relationship is basically nothing. Okay, I know that there's a soul tie in place. These people are, and my spouse doesn't have the knowledge. Neither does the counterfeit have the knowledge to break up, to know how to break a soul tie. So there's no depth in when it comes to that relationship, and God is not in that relationship. So you already know that it's not going to last. Okay. My spouse does not know what love is, and neither does the counterfeit know what love is. God is trying to not only get to my spouse, but he's also trying to get to this counterfeit. I pray, I always say to myself, let both of them go through their process without me interfering. So I'm telling you the same thing. Your spouse in that counterfeit, let them go through their process, and you just make sure that you're not interfering in any way. Okay, let them go through what they need to go through. You've been called to pray. I've been called to pray, and that's the only thing you should do. Just pray for them. Pray for your spouse and pray for that counterfeit, and leave it in God's hands. He will reveal to your spouse that he's with the wrong person. He will reveal to that counterfeit, this is not the right person for you. Okay. My spouse also went as far as, trying to get me to compete with this counterfeit. I think I mentioned it before, but I'm mentioning it and again then. I was not having that, and I made it clear to him that in my actions that I am not doing this. I'm not competing with anyone over anyone. Okay, most of these prodigals think that they can have their cake and eat it too. It's not happening with me. I'm not letting that happen. Okay, let your spouse see that you are hip on game, because some of these prodigals are just trying to run game on you. You will not allow them to run game on you, and that you definitely will not entertain it. So just walk away. Your spouse needs to see that there's a big difference between you and a counterfeit. And I mentioned it in the last videos, I think. There should be a very, very big difference between you and that counterfeit. Now, do not allow your relationship with your spouse to become physical. I don't know if some of the God-ordained spouses have been in fornication with their prodigal spouse, but I would advise you, do not let it become physical. Do not let it. Avoid it. Okay? I've never kissed my spouse. I can say that. I've never kissed him. I've never slept with my spouse, and I will try the best of my ability not to fall into. I will not allow this to happen because I know what it means. Okay, I love God. I love His Word, His commandments. So I will do everything in my power to avoid that from happening. Now, my spouse and I are now in a divine separation, so I'm working on the things that the Lord has pressed upon my heart to work on, and that's what I'm doing. And God doesn't want you to enter into fornication with anyone, and especially even though this is your God ordained spouse, God still doesn't want you to entertain a fornication relationship, even though God has highlighted to you that this person is your spouse. Flee from fornication, people. Okay, don't fall into fornication with your God ordained spouse. And that's really what I wanted to tell you guys with this video. While your spouse is with that counterfeit, you make sure that you're working on everything that the Lord has placed upon your heart to work upon. Just pray for your spouse. Pray for that counterfeit. Let the Lord work on these two people. This is the God's love story, and He will make sure that it comes around full circle. Okay? So that's really what I wanted to bring to you guys with this video today. I pray you guys have a blessed day today. This was really the word that I wanted to bring. I pray the blessings of our Lord Jesus Christ upon you guys. I pray you guys have a beautiful day today. Shalom, family.